Hello and namaste. This is Sophie back again with another episode, and I have a very special guest today, all the way from New Zealand, and we have Yao from Lincoln University. Welcome to our podcast.
Thank you so much. Namaste. My name is Yao. I'm the International Manager for Asia for Lincoln University. I'm actually based in Malaysia, so I'll be covering more recruitment activities here in Nepal in Kathmandu.
Wow. Thank you so much. So, before starting it, I want to know, how did you start your journey with this field?
Yeah.
I just want to know
Sure.
about it.
So technically, I started this role when I graduated from university from Malaysia. So my university back then, there was a lot of international students, and I also was interacting with them quite a lot. And one of the staff at the university offered me this opportunity to work in the international office for that Malaysia university. So my first country, I actually traveled over to Pakistan. Yeah, so we actually have a lot of different international students in Malaysia. So that how I kicked off my career. True enough, 10 years or even 12 years later, I'm still in the industry, and I'm currently working for Lincoln University, New Zealand.
So, how long has it been with you, Lincoln University?
So it's just 2 weeks. It's just 2 weeks with Lincoln University, New Zealand. But then again, before this, I was working for another university in New Zealand, and it was 3 years with that. And I'm quite sort of like equipped in terms of the experience and the offerings of New Zealand. So Lincoln has our way of programs that is specialized in the region, and we are doing quite well in terms of the land-based programs. But more on that later.
Okay, yeah, but how has the experience been with? Have you always been with the New Zealand universities, or is it with the other countries as well?
Yeah, so throughout my 10 to 12 years of experience, I worked with UK University before, I worked with Malaysia University before, and also Singapore institution as well. And then basically New Zealand is my current sort of like coverage right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, how's the experience with New Zealand? Have you been to New Zealand?
I've been to New Zealand. I've been to Auckland, and when I first stepped foot in Auckland, it's a very diverse sort of like city. You will see a lot of different people from different countries working there, studying there. And if you ask me, I would prefer maybe to look at moving over to New Zealand as well, because how friendly it is. The culture is very adaptive in terms of welcoming international, and also a lot of policies that help the international sort of like students and migration sort of offerings as well. And in terms of New Zealand, when you're there, you basically enjoy the weather also. Like right now in Kathmandu, it's a bit chilly right now. I would say during summertime in New Zealand is also the same as well. Yeah.
Okay, so what is the first thing that you remember when you stepped into New Zealand?
Yeah, so when I stepped foot into New Zealand, it was very late. So back then, the airport immigration officer, he was very, very friendly. And you would see the immigration side, they come from different backgrounds. So that tells you that that country is very open in terms of like the diversity, right? So that actually gave me a very good impression, because when you visit the country, if you travel to other countries before, and the first thing that you need to do is to pass the immigration office, and sometimes it's a bit intimidating, but I never felt that with the New Zealand immigration officer. They are just there checking on you, asking how's your flight, how was the trip, whether is it good or not. So just to really welcome you to the country. So I really had that very good experience when I stepped foot into New Zealand. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I can totally agree with you as well. Like, it's the first impression when you step out of the plane, and then you go to the immigration officer. Sometimes it's very scary,
Yes.
and they try to question you so many things, and it's really intimidating.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned,
Yeah.
And the first thing that you've experienced from the New Zealand perspective is that they're very welcoming.
Yeah.
So I think. It shows the country culture as well.
Yeah.
I believe that they're very welcoming to all of the nation's citizens, and I think they're good.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
I also want to touch on this as well, because for New Zealand, when we get students over to New Zealand, we also have this orientation for them, and it's very welcoming also. They would actually sort of like host international orientation where they ask previous students or the existing students to be involved, so that they can welcome their own community towards the New Zealand culture as well. So even before that, the university will also do pre-departure, work closely with agents so that we can actually prepare the students before they actually take off and head over to New Zealand. So this is how we welcome the international students. Yeah.
Yeah. So talking about the orientation that you mentioned, how does it conduct? Like, is it through virtually or is it in the university itself?
Yeah. So generally for orientation, it will always be 1 week before your class starts. And this is for you to get to know your classmates, get to know the faculties, and also get your other things sorted. For example, your access to the university portal. Sometimes you might need help with your opening bank account and stuff like that. So during the orientation, you will go through all of this. And most importantly, joining clubs and society. Because one of the things that is very important when you go to university is the interaction and network that you're supposed to build. And not just in the classroom, but externally as well for your extracurricular, right? So this is very important is because when you go and work in a company, they will expect you to have that confidence to speak and also share your thoughts so that you can hopefully give a lot of solution when when there is any problems with like facing in the company and whatnot. So that actually builds that from the club and society perspective. So during the orientation, then you'll be able to get in touch with all these different clubs. Yeah.
Yeah. I would like to share my experience of orientation as well.
Yeah.
So you can take the call.
Oh, yes, of course. Yeah.
So I remember when I was first in the university, we had this orientation program, and where I got to connect with so many classmates, and because I was there alone, I didn't have my colleagues of my previous school, so. I went to the orientation, and that's when I met so many friends. Until now, they're friends with me, and we shared the room as well, the activities, the team building activities, the puzzles, the conflicts that we're discussing, like, no, it's supposed to be like this, not like that. And then that's how you break the ice between the students as well. So I think in today's scenario as well, what I think is orientation is very important. So what we do for our student from Access Education Network is we push them to attend the orientation classes before the class starts. So we always encourage them to join the orientation, and that's compulsory. So we always tell the students, and sometimes they say, like, is that necessary? The class start dates from 27th, so is it necessary to go for the orientation? So we always push them to go for the orientation as well.
Yes, correct.
So, and it's very important to know actually the university, and also like in the orientation there will be academic professors as well.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, so you'll get to know the academic professors as well, and I think that's a good part of the university that they're organizing the orientation for the students.
Yes, correct. Yeah, this is basically the first step for you to get to know everyone in the university. So you would definitely reach to a point that you need help.
Yeah.
And if you're just being in your own bubble and not reaching out, then you might be in a very difficult situation. So that is why you would need to rely on people. And growing up, if you're going into job and all, you will need to work with people. So why not start at the university level? Yeah.
Okay, so orientation is done, everything is done. So how does the university environment look like? Like, what are the perks of studying in Lincoln University?
Yeah, so just to give you an intro for Lincoln University New Zealand, we're the #1 land-based university in New Zealand. So technically we cover a lot of agriculture, environment, and also food science related programs. This is our specialty. So our campus is actually all equipped with all these research labs. We also have farms, 7 farms, so that you can do all this research. And for the students that are into this area, basically this is also #1 export of New Zealand. So meaning we are very involved with the industry, and our students also will be able to get like internships, practical job learning with our university. So when you start your classes, it's basically in lecture halls. So you would have like timetables set up during your orientation, and when you go into classes, it will be depending what classes you take, what subjects you take. Some of them is like mutual classes, meaning you'll be sharing with other faculties. So these are bigger classes. You would expect maybe around like 100 students in a lecture hall. But if you're in a specialized class, so for example, food science related specialization, it could be like just 30 to 50 students in one classroom. So it depends. But in Lincoln University, New Zealand, we're the small university, considered a small university. So our population is basically around 5,000 students. So even though we're small, we are trying to sort of like advocate small is basically better connection with the university lecturer, with the university resources. So we want students to actually know that whenever you need help, there will be a place for you to reach out to so they can get the support. Because if you're kind of like in a very big sort of situation, big university, big setting, it's going to be difficult for you to stand out because you're competing with the rest. But for us, we want even opportunity for everyone to be unique, to stand out. So that is how our Lincoln University New Zealand stands out from the other New Zealand university.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm just curious about the farms that you mentioned. So in the particular farm, is the like do we have the productions there, and do we send it to the selling as well? How does it happen? Like,
yeah, so the farms basically work with different like industries as well. So for example, we are not just offering agriculture, food science and all. We also do have our business school, right? So our business school, we also have a specialization called supply chain, and then of course supply chain students will learn about export and import, how to do productions and whatnot. So they basically also work closely with all these farms that we have to understand how to prepare, how to actually harvest all these crops. Then they will know how to package it a little bit more better. For example, locally distribution, or even international distribution, where you need to really secure the crops before they expire, right? So all these farms, they would have their own sort of like segment. So for example, one farm can be focusing on the agriculture side, the other one will be more towards the supply chain side. These are basically our strength, so that students will be able to equip with all this experience.
Can I see the perspectives?
Yep.
Like, do we have anything of the pictures?
Oh, that one you basically probably need to go to the website and see. Yeah. So do check out our website to see more of the farms.
Looks very nice.
Yeah. So our prospectus actually talks a lot about our facilities. So in terms of our international student, of course, you would have all these classroom, lab facilities and all. So this is basically the lecture halls and all. And we also do have our own gym.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'll show it to them.
Might
So
be a
this
bit.
is how it looks like. So if you want to study in Lincoln University, you get all of these.
Yeah. So we actually have a very big field of, for example, the rugby field. If let's say you're into it, you can actually join the rugby club for you to learn. If you're not into it, you can also use it as an opportunity to take up a sport to be active. And not to mention about our cricket field. So our national cricket team from New Zealand, they actually train and also do their workouts at Christchurch, close to our Lincoln University, New Zealand as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. These looks very appealing. They got everything, agribusiness.
Yep.
Oh, we have agribusiness as well.
Correct. So technically, I just want to maybe share in terms of the faculties, right? We split into the main three. One is going to be the agribusiness and commerce faculty, and then the other one would be our agriculture and life sciences, so more towards the lab-based sciences. And then the other one will be our environment and society design. So these are the main three. But of course, when you actually go into our website and check the different specialization, then you'll be put under the different faculties. So you will have a direct coordinator from your program, so they can liaise if you want to meet any professors in the university for you to get support academically. Yeah, so these are the three main faculties. Yeah.
After looking all of these, I feel like I've already mentioned multiple times that I wish I knew about these universities earlier. Like, it's such a good thing to like actually study in the university where there's a lot of facilities, the exposures are given, and comparatively hearing about it's growing. So we're also focusing more on the exposure side and the opportunity side, but we're not up to that level. So that's why I think students are also like seeking for their abroad study, where they can actually get the top-notch education quality, and also the facilities and all of these perks, like the working directly with the farm, and also if they're interested in supply chain or business, then they can actually real-time work out on the real business itself while they're studying, and they can actually relate with what they've learned in the class, and then can implement it in the real life.
Correct.
So I think that's more the priority for the current students is, I think, current age, we call it. So I think Gen Zs and so I think they want these kind of things, like they want more of a practical learning than that of what theoretical learning.
Correct. I wanted to add on something as well. So even though we're the land-based university where we cover more towards the agriculture side, environment, and also the supply chain business side, right, food science, we also do integrate with technology, right? So if you want to develop more efficiently in terms of your agribusiness, you would need to learn how to build systems so that can maybe monitor your crops much more efficiently, predict weather, or even like understand about the supply chain systems. How can you fully optimize all this distribution? So at the university, we also teach those kind of subjects. We also help students to understand how technology can be integrated into their career and to improve the efficiency. So for example, one of the programs that we are offering right now is the Master of AI for land use. So you'll be learning about how to integrate AI system, all these machine learning apps, so that you can actually be more efficient with your land use sort of like industry. For example, the agriculture, the farming and stuff like that. So we are always there to improve our sort of like business in New Zealand. That's why we are trying to also integrate all this technology into our programs as well.
I think the current trend is also AI. Like everybody knows about ChatGPT and AI applications and everything is every organization and every companies are like, they're figuring it out how we can integrate AI with the company itself, like the working system, the operations and everything. So that's a very good opportunity for our students who's actually looking forward to explore their career into AI in technical field.
Correct.
Thank you so much. And also like we've learned about the university, a bit about the courses as well. So if somebody is looking forward to study in Lincoln University, so what does the tuition fee ranges from, and what are the scholarship opportunities? Do we have any kind of special scholarship opportunity for the students who's academically very exceptional?
Correct. So for Lincoln University New Zealand, we do offer very affordable fees for very high quality programs. So for example, our bachelor programs actually offers around 37,000 New Zealand dollars per year, and this is quite affordable, especially in towards the science field, for example, food science or agriculture, stuff like that. For the master programs, the postgraduate, then it ranged from 57,000 up to 63,000 New Zealand dollars, but this is for the whole program. So your postgraduate programs might be in 1 year or might be in 1.5 years. The price is basically for the whole program, 57 until 63. All right. And I want to touch on the postgraduate market a little bit. We do have programs that are considered as conversion masters. So what conversion master means that you can be from a different background. For example, you can be from an education background and you want to learn something in business or something related to computing. We have these programs that you can just join with a B grade average. You can join this program, and once you graduate, you can already start working in this field set. So these are conversion masters. So we want to highlight this is because there are some people probably working already for maybe 5 years, 10 years. They are trying to switch their industry. Maybe they are trying to get into IT. So we have this program called Master of Applied Computing, where you can be a data analyst or even business analyst, or you can also learn about GIS, Geographic Information System, learn about GPS. So a very good sort of like example is when you learn about GIS, you would know how to strategize your location. So a very good example is SS Education Network. They actually have different branches. So in order to actually meet more students, meet more potential students, they are setting up in a prime location. So learning about GIS or Geographic Information System, you can be small business that is trying to find a location, and you can actually have a very good strategy to build this sort of like location building. So that is just one example. You can apply it over to agriculture, environment, this kind of thing. So it's very interesting, it's very unique. So when you take on our applied computing program, so regardless what background you're from, you can still learn a bit of AI so that you can progress in your career. Yeah. So the other conversion masters is going to be business related. So you can take on global management and marketing. This is more towards supply chain. You also have the finance one, master of business in finance if you want to get into the banking space. Then the fintech one, this is exciting. So yeah, the master of fintech and investment management. So if let's say you're into stock exchange, or if you are trying to learn about crypto and stuff like that, so this fintech master is going to be very exciting for you. So you still can join without any relevancy in terms of your background. So you just need to have a B average for you to join the program. Yeah.
Wow. Talking about the fintech as well, like the current market,
Yep.
So fintech is also increasing. Yeah. In the Nepalese industry as well, like fintech is one of the most high-paid job industry. So yeah, that's interesting, and that's I think that's quite appealing for the students as well.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
I think for the fintech one, you need to realize everything is online right now.
Yeah.
So I hope one day I travel around the world, I do not need to carry currency paper, you see.
Yeah.
So you can just use apps. Right now, technically, I use it already. So just to share, my digital bank app in Malaysia, Touch and Go, I can use it here as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so basically, whichever merchant or vendor here in Nepal, I can just use my national QR code to scan here. I can pay it with my own currency. They will just automatically exchange, convert and exchange. So this is basically already ongoing. But the other thing that you also need to take note of is the security behind it. So all these fintech apps and also technology coming up, there is a vulnerability towards it, the security part. So if you're learning about fintech from us, you'll be also learning about that aspect. So at least you're updated, then you'll be able to transition in any fields in fintech. Yeah.
True. Yeah. Thank you so much for introducing that
No
to
problem.
us, the conversion masters.
Yeah.
So is that for the Nepalese students as well?
Yeah.
For
So
everyone.
correct. So all these conversion masters is basically helping any students, any international students that are looking maybe to switch their career, or maybe to explore working in New Zealand as well. So the thing about going through this master's program, once you graduate, you're getting a level 9 qualification, and level 9 qualification allows you to stay in New Zealand up to 9 years. So this is going to be on a post-study work visa. Okay, so this post-study work visa, you're allowed to work part-time, you're allowed to work full-time, but of course I would encourage you to work full-time. Hopefully you'll be able to get a residency visa after that. Yeah, so this is basically what opportunities we provide at New Zealand.
Okay. And talking about the scholarship,
Yes.
how does it look like for the masters and the undergrads?
Correct. So let's talk about the undergrad scholarship first. So undergrad scholarship, we basically have 3,000 and also 10,000 New Zealand dollars. So let's say you're from an international school background, then you'll be able to grab up to 10,000. So this is going to be a separate application from our website. But don't have to worry, if you graduate from high school and you're planning to apply for scholarship, you can go through SS Education Network, then they will be able to help you with your scholarship application. So for the master's program, the taught master's program, you'll be able to entitle for 7,000, 10,000 and up to 15,000. And this is basically based on your grades. If you manage to get like B plus, in CGPA is generally around 3.25, then you'll be able to get a 10,000 automatic scholarship, right? The 15,000 one is going to be A grade average, so you need to have at least around 3.75, that sort of like grading. You don't have to calculate, you don't have to be sort of like a mathematician to calculate your CGPA. The university will do it ourselves. So once you submit application through Access Education Network, our admission will receive your application and will assess based on your grading scheme from your university. And if you meet the grades for scholarship, it will be automatically deducted from your offer letter. It will be reflected there. So these are all very attractive scholarship because this is quite a substantial amount for you to get. And for you doing a master program that range from 57,000 to 63,000, this is going to be very helpful for you. And just to share you some context, living in Christchurch is also quite affordable. This sort of like scholarship can be sort of like indirectly used for your living costs. So in Christchurch, our living cost is around 20,000 New Zealand dollars. You're allowed to work in New Zealand also as an international student, and you'll be able to work up to 25 hours per week. This can actually comfortably cover your living expenses at New Zealand if you're in Christchurch. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you talked about 15,000 scholarship. Is it a vice chancellor scholarship that you mentioned?
This is basically the International Thought Master Scholarship.
Masters. Okay.
Yeah.
So for that, what does the student have to do?
Yeah. So you just need to have the minimum grade that we need for the scholarship, which is an average A average. Yeah. And this is only applicable for certain programs. For example, the business for global management, the finance one, and also the fintech, which we talked about earlier, and also the CPA, the Master of Professional Accounting Master. So these programs are entitled for the 15,000 New Zealand dollar scholarship.
That's super interesting. Yeah. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing all of these informations and definitely learning about the Lincoln University. It's a really good opportunity for us to know more about these universities because the facilities, the scholarship, the tuition fees, I think the match, and definitely the course options that you provide.
Yes.
I think it matches with what our students really want. So thank you so much for sharing all of these information.
No problem.
And thank you for giving us the in-depth idea about the scholarship, the tuition fee, everything about the Lincoln University and the area as a whole. So yeah, is there anything that you want to mention to our students at last?
Yeah. So I think Lincoln University, we have established a very long, good relationship with Nepal. If you really want to know more about the alumni stories, you can just go on to LinkedIn and to look at our alumni sort of like tab. You'll be able to find quite a number of graduates. And some of them, they stay at New Zealand. Some of them, they came back and doing very well. And working a lot closely with the government, NGOs and stuff like that. So I think for students that are from Nepal going overseas, I think New Zealand will be a very good spot. It's because of the very welcoming culture and also the diversity that we offer. And especially at Lincoln University, since we have a very long-standing relationship in Nepal.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And thank you for your time today. It was lovely having a coffee and also a beautiful conversation and a very knowledgeable information about the university. Thank you so much for sharing us and giving us your valuable time. And I really hope to see you again in our next episode. Maybe, I'm not sure when it will be, but do you have any plans of visiting Nepal soon?
Yes, of course. We really like to visit more Nepal and visit more Kathmandu to actually do a lot of these sort of events so that we can meet students directly, interact with them, and also help them to find the right programs in New Zealand. Yeah. So I'll be working closely with Access Education Network to come and do more podcasts, to come and do more student networking. Maybe next session we can talk about other topics as well.
Yes, definitely, sure. And also we're having the event on December as well. And also in January, end of January or February, so we're planning for that. So I'll definitely send you an invitation on that as well, and I would really want you to be there and give our students a beautiful insight about Lincoln University.
Sure, no problem. I'll be there.
Thank you so much, and it was lovely having you here. Thank you for your time. Thank you, and yes, everyone, we'll see you in another podcast soon. So see you in another video. Bye bye. Till then, take care.